Hello, Whitney. I just want to thank you for coming in today. What would you like to talk about this evening?
Let's see. Well, I've been dealing with some stress from school, trying to have a paper that's due, and on top of that, I have to work and
Mm-hmm.
all these other assignments that I have to do, and it's kind of getting stressful.
Sounds like you have a lot on your plate that you're balancing right now.
Definitely. Um, I work at night. I have another job in the daytime, then trying to
Mm-hmm.
squeeze coming to school, doing assignments in between that. It's a lot.
Wow. Why don't you tell me about these two jobs that you have?
Okay. The first is my full time. I work at night. Basically, I work as a juvenile detention officer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Basically, at night we're just monitoring them sleep, but the monitoring them sleep, the hardest thing is actually just staying awake because if we're ever caught sleeping, then that can lead to like a cut in our pay. We can get write-ups or things like that. The other job is not as stressful because I do have some help, but I work with two LPCs. They
Okay.
two therapists. Uh, do basically most of their office stuff. Write notes. I do their billing. Make sure all the progress notes are sent out to the case managers, things of that nature. Basically, run their offices.
Okay. So it does sound like you have a lot going on right now. I mean, those are two very distinct jobs that you have, plus
Yeah,
school.
yeah. Well, but I do kind of see the benefit. There is going to be a benefit in the long run. I mean, you can't beat having two LPCs that you can talk to about your schoolwork and counseling. So
Right, right.
then, with working full time at night, I can kind of study every now and then, but it's just been kind of an issue with the assignments, really just
Mm-hmm.
getting the assignments done.
Why don't you tell me about why you feel that it's difficult to turn in assignments or to find time to study for assignments?
Um, it's the time management. Really just trying to set aside some time to, because I mean my schedule is so blocked with working two jobs and then going to making sure I attend school. Then even just it's hard even trying to find a time to eat, to sleep, to socialize. Even I barely do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this weekend, my friend dragged me out of my house um, to come over to brunch at her house, um, which I enjoyed, but at the end of the day, I still had other assignments to do. Actually, but when I went over her house, I was able to work, but it's still, I still have to complete it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it does sound like that you had brunch. It's been a while since you had seen your girlfriends.
Hmm.
It sounds like it gave you a slight respite actually to
Yeah.
kind of just maybe unwind, even if it wasn't for a long time, wasn't an all day event.
Hmm.
It was just a brief break, and sometimes that is needed, especially when you're working two jobs, going to school.
Hmm.
Why don't you tell me about what else that you have that might be able to give you a break now and then?
That's about it, unless I were to take off of work, which I hopefully I'll be doing soon. Other than that, I really don't have anything else besides lessening my load by taking off of work.
Hmm.
So that's basically what. Yeah, I actually do probably need to start doing that a little bit more often.
Okay, well, why don't we discuss that then? What are the ways that, is there a way that you could rearrange your work schedule possibly so that way um, the work hours aren't conflicting as much with the time to study? Is there a way to where you could work less hours at one job, maybe work a little bit more at the other job so that way you have more time to study?
No, for the most part, there. My full time is set in stone. Part-time, there is some leeway, but um, I kind of like to go in and get the work done instead of, because I just work about 4 hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but the
Okay.
issue is with me working at night, so I literally have to work at night, go home, take a nap, and
Mm-hmm.
go back to work. So
Okay. Well, it definitely sounds like, this is a lot on your plate. Two jobs,
hmm
going to school. You're barely finding time to eat, sleep, socialize with your friends.
right, so that's kind of stressed.
Mm-hmm. What else in your life would you consider to be stressful?
Um, Nothing else really. Family is good. Um, for the most part, school is basically the only stressor I have. Well, no, my workplace environment is somewhat stressful, especially dealing with kids. Um, it's a type of situation where you have a lot of people who are higher up than you, but don't know as much as you, don't have the experience as you, but they feel like they do type of situation. I don't know how to really describe it. Um,
Well, it sounds like, from what I'm understanding, is that it sounds like the management um, maybe a little bit, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they maybe micromanage a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah, my manager definitely micromanages. Well, he really micromanages the supervisors. With us, he just really has no clue as to what we do. Um, Basically, especially as the officers, it's more like upper management doesn't care about us.
Okay.
Um, yeah, they don't really see what we do, so they don't really see the effort it takes in order to complete, to just come in there every day and
Mm-hmm.
deal with up to 12 kids with every type of issue you could imagine. They don't really see, they don't see how stressful the work is because all they do, they go in and go in their office and they can go in their office 8 hours and that's it. They only come
Mm-hmm.
out unless there's a major issue. But they don't seem to appreciate the fact that there are no major issues most of the time because they have staff in there that's more than capable and has the experience to handle it.
So it does sound like that your managers may be distant from the staff.
Correct. And doesn't, um, I would say, oblivious basically to the day-to-day activities and the day-to-day struggles that we go through.
Okay, so why don't you tell me some more of these day-to-day struggles that you may have, these activities that seem to, as you said, that the managers are very distant from.
Um, it's really just with the interaction with kids. You're dealing with 12 kids that have engaged in various crimes with various mental disorders, various mental learning disorders, and you have to find a way for all 12 of those kids to coexist
Okay.
and have there not be any issues. And if there are issues, you're the one who's expected to handle them. And if you ask for help, it's basically frowned upon. So, what else? Especially with me working at night, they have what's called a stable list, and in those cases, it will be basically you work your 8 hours, and then if they don't have enough people for the next shift,
Mm-hmm.
they tell you you have to stay over. So on top of your working your 8 hours, now you have to work an additional 4, maybe even another 8.
Wow,
Yeah.
that can be that sounds like that's adding a lot more onto your plate that's
hmm
already very full with school, with two jobs, and now you have your primary job that is asking you to work even more hours.
Right. So then especially hard when after you've been deprived of sleep for an entire night. So not only are you deprived of sleep, but now you have to go in and deal with an entire section or group of uh, juveniles, and then for the most part they put you in the worst sections as well.
Okay.
So they don't put you in the sections where it's called the honor sections, where the kids are really trying to do good in order to possibly go home, get on probation or something. They
Mhm.
put you in the sections where the kids have been sentenced already, so they really don't care and they act like it.
Okay.
So, yeah, what else? Um, but yeah, that's basically the main stress. The main stress is really just the job. I could probably deal with everything else. I expect school to be hard, but the job just kind of, you expect stress from your job, but um, I think it's really the main issue is the support, that lack of support within upper management to uh, those below them.
Mhm. So have you felt a need to bring this forth to your managers that there are people underneath them that maybe are not feeling that management is being supportive right now?
Yeah, there's been numerous times where people have said that, noted that they feel unappreciated and basically no response. Matter of fact, my assistant superintendent one time, they talked about, there was a meeting and they talked about morale, bringing,
Mhm.
improving morale at the job. She said, morale, bring your own morale,
Bring your own morale.
bring your own morale. Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, her thing is, we pay you, so that should be enough for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That bring your own morale. I mean, that is a very it can be interpreted as a negative thing, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody took that negatively.
Mhm.
But so yeah. But the stress has been somewhat relieved though, because I did take off for a couple of days last week. So, and today will actually be my first day going back. So
Okay.
I can't wait to see how I feel when I walk in the building.
Mhm.
Usually I feel sick, but we'll shall see today.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like while you may have all the stress of your job right now, of having the second job and having school,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to something you had said earlier. You said that you enjoyed working with the LPCs at your other job, that you learned with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in this program, the goal is to become an LPC. Do you definitely see becoming an LPC as having a benefit for you as well?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I really, and that's the one thing about the job that I appreciate is that it actually has motivated me to become an LPC so that I can deal with the girls and deal with juveniles. I know because of that job, I know for sure that that's what I want to do in life.
Okay. So this program, it sounds like you're saying that this program is motivating you
Mm-hmm.
to to do more at the job you already have now, especially with the young girls that you work with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why don't we talk about that a little bit more, about this motivation?
Um, I mean, when I started the job fresh out of college, that was my first real job, basically. I hated it at first. I literally cried every time I went home for at least in the first 2 months.
Okay.
Um, but afterwards, after getting acclimated to the job and getting used to the girls and, you know, basically finding myself, finding my own in that job,
Okay.
I actually began to really enjoy it. Interacting with the girls, hearing their crazy stories, and sometimes being able to possibly impart some wisdom to them, or give them
Mm-hmm.
warnings, kind of talk some things out with them as well. So seeing that and knowing that I enjoy that really kind of motivates me to want to continue and
Mm-hmm.
make a living out of it, basically.
Okay, so it sounds like while this is Well, there's a lot to balance out that this is something that's positive in your life right now, the program.
Right, right. So it's stressful, but it's still, it's, I don't want to say acceptable stress. I mean, but it's, basically, I guess it's, the stress is worth it.
Okay.
It's worth the stresses. I mean, I know that ultimately my goal will be achieved. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
This is something worth striving for.
right, correct. So, I know that it's, at times it's probably going to be harder, probably be even harder than this, but I know that if I keep at it, just, keep going on and hopefully it'll work out for the best.
Mm-hmm.